In this video we will learn what are imports and export and step-by-step process in simple words. Import and export are two of the most common terms used in international trade. While they are often used interchangeably, they are actually two distinct concepts that are integral to the global economy. Import is the process of bringing goods or services from one country into another. Export, on the other hand, is the process of sending goods or services from one country to another. In this video, we will be looking at the importance of import and export, the different types of import and export, and how they can benefit businesses. Import is the process of bringing goods or services from one country into another. This process involves the transfer of goods across international borders and often involves the payment of duties or taxes. The goods imported can include raw materials, intermediate goods, and finished products. The import process typically involves a lot of paperwork, including customs forms and declarations. The main purpose of import is to increase the supply of goods in the importing country. This helps to reduce the cost of goods, as well as to provide consumers with a wider range of products to choose from. It is also beneficial to the importing country as it can help to boost the local economy by providing more jobs and creating more business opportunities. Export is the process of sending goods or services from one country to another. This process involves the transfer of goods across international borders and often involves the payment of duties or taxes. The goods exported can include raw materials, intermediate goods, and finished products. The export process typically involves a lot of paperwork, including customs forms and declarations. The main purpose of export is to increase the demand for goods in the exporting country. This helps to increase the local economy, as well as to provide consumers with more choices when it comes to purchasing products. It is also beneficial to the exporting country as it can help to create more jobs and business opportunities. The importance of import and export cannot be overstated. By increasing the supply and demand of goods in different countries, it helps to create a more efficient global economy. It also helps to foster closer ties between countries, as they are all dependent on each other in order to keep their economies running smoothly. There are two main types of import and export. The first is called direct import and export. This involves the direct transfer of goods or services from one country to another. This type of import and export is beneficial for both countries, as it helps to reduce costs and increase the supply of goods. The second type of import and export is indirect import and export. This involves the use of intermediaries, such as wholesalers, retailers, or brokers, who are responsible for the transfer of goods or services from one country to another. This type of import and export is beneficial for the importing country, as it helps to reduce costs and increase the demand for goods. Import and export are important for businesses, as they can help to increase the supply and demand of goods, as well as to reduce costs. They also help to foster closer ties between countries, which can help to create a more efficient global economy. Furthermore, they can help to create more business opportunities and jobs in both countries. Overall, import and export are essential to the global economy, and they are integral to the success of businesses around the world. Step-by-step process of import and export. Step 1. Identify goods to be imported, exported. The first step in the import-export process is to identify the goods that need to be imported or exported. This includes both the item or items that need to be imported, exported, and the country from which it will be imported, exported. This step involves researching the goods to be imported, exported, their quality, and the cost of transporting them. Step 2. Research the laws and regulations. The second step in the import-export process is to research the laws and regulations related to the goods being imported, exported. This includes researching the specific import-export regulations of the country to which the goods are being exported. For example, if the goods are being exported to the United States, then the import regulations of the United States must be researched and understood. Step 3. Determine the documentation required. The third step in the import-export process is to determine the documentation required for the goods being imported, exported. This includes researching the different types of documents that must be obtained and prepared for the import-export process. This includes documents such as bills of lading, customs declarations, and other documentation related to the goods being imported, exported. Step 4. Obtain the necessary permits. The fourth step in the import-export process is to obtain the necessary permits for the goods being imported, exported. This includes obtaining any necessary permits or licenses from the government in order to legally import, export the goods. It also involves researching the different types of permits that may be required, such as permits related to the transportation of the goods. Step 5. Prepare the shipment. The fifth step in the import-export process is to prepare the shipment. This includes making sure that the goods are properly packaged, labeled, and insured for safe transportation. It also involves researching the different types of carriers and methods of transportation that may be required, such as air freight or ocean freight. Step 6. Prepare the payment. The sixth step in the import-export process is to prepare the payment for the goods being imported-exported. This includes researching the different types of payment methods that may be used for the transaction, such as cash, credit cards, or bank transfers. It also involves making sure that the payment is made in the currency of the country from which the goods are being imported-exported. Step 7. Track the shipment. The seventh step in the import-export process is to track the shipment. This involves researching the different types of tracking systems that may be used for the shipment, such as GPS tracking or RFID tracking. It also involves making sure that the shipment is tracked throughout its journey to ensure that it arrives safely and on time. Conclusion. Import and export are two of the most important aspects of global trade. The process of import and export involves a number of steps to ensure that goods are transferred in a safe and efficient manner. In this video, we have discussed the step-by-step process of import and export in detail. We have discussed the steps involved, such as identifying the goods to be imported-exported, researching the laws and regulations, determining the documentation required, obtaining the necessary permits, preparing the shipment, preparing the payment, and tracking the shipment. We hope that this video has been informative and helpful in understanding the import-export process.